So you're probably pretty used to AI that can chat with you, answer your questions, or maybe even draft an email. But what if it could do more? What if it could not just answer, but actually act on your behalf? Well, we are right on the edge of the next massive leap in artificial intelligence, the rise of the AI agent. And this is a huge shift. We're moving from AI that just gives us information to AI that takes real, meaningful initiative. And that really gets to the heart of the matter. Look, a chatbot can easily plan a trip to New York for you, right? It'll suggest restaurants, maybe some museums, but can it go that next step? Can it actually book the dinner reservation for you, buy the museum tickets, and then reschedule everything if it finds out your first choice restaurant is closed? That is the crucial difference between just chatting and truly acting. Here's a good way to think about it. Traditional AI is kind of like a super efficient intern. You give it a very specific task, analyze the spreadsheet, categorize these support tickets, and it gets it done fast. Agentic AI, though, that's more like a proactive junior partner on your team. It doesn't just sit around waiting for instructions. It understands the bigger goal, it takes the initiative, and it coordinates a whole bunch of steps to get there. It's not just reactive, it is fundamentally proactive. So while a large language model is absolutely fantastic at creating a plan, an AI agent is designed from the ground up to execute that plan. It's built to interact with other software, with databases, and with real-world systems to actually, get the job done. The AI expert Pascal Bornet puts it perfectly. He says, information without action is very limited in the impact it can give you. And just think about that for a second. It's so true. Knowing the perfect restaurant in town is completely useless if you can't get a reservation. Agentic AI is the ding that closes that gap between knowing and doing. It turns all that passive information into active, tangible results. Okay, so how do these agents actually think? I mean, it's not just random, right? Of course not. They operate on these really sophisticated decision-making frameworks, a lot like the mental models you and I use every single day without even realizing it. A really great way to get your head around this is something called the SPAR cycle. So first, the agent senses its environment. Digitally, this could mean scanning your calendar, checking your emails, or looking through a database for info. Then it plans a course of action based on what it found, like putting together a recipe. Next, it acts on that plan. This is the doing part, sending the emails, booking the flight. And finally, and this is key, it reflects on the outcome. It checks, was the booking successful? And thinks, okay, that worked. Next time, maybe I'll try to find an even cheaper flight. This continuous loop is exactly how it learns and gets better and better over time. There's a similar framework out there called the React cycle, and this one puts a special focus on using tools. So here, the agent reasons about its goal, it takes an action using a specific tool, like a search engine or a booking API, and then it observes the result. And of course, that observation feeds right back into the next round of reasoning. What both of these cycles show us is that these aren't just random actions, they are structured, goal-oriented processes designed to get things done. Now, this isn't just some far-off theory. This stuff is already delivering massive, tangible results for businesses today. So let's take a look at how this is all translating into real-world impact. Let's just start with a big number, 90%. What could that possibly be? That is the reduction in client onboarding time that McKinsey achieved by using AI agents. I mean, think about that. A process that once took days, maybe even weeks of manual coordination, is now being streamlined into a tiny fraction of the time. All right, here's another one for you, 70%. That's how much JP Morgan cut down on fraud. Their agentic systems don't just flag suspicious activity. No, they can autonomously investigate it, cross-reference data from all over the place, and actually take action, all in real time. And honestly, these examples are popping up everywhere you look. A UK pet care company called Pets at Home uses agents to transcribe vet consultations with 99% accuracy. That frees up vets to focus on, the animals. In retail, you've got agents automatically rerouting supply chains and adjusting prices on the fly. In telecom, they're balancing network loads during peak hours to prevent outages. The applications are they're vast. So, all of this logically leads to the most important question of all. With AI agents taking on so much, where do we fit in? Where do the humans fit in? Is this whole thing about replacement? The answer, thankfully, is a clear no. It's all about collaboration. The new competitive advantage, the real secret sauce, lies in creating what experts are calling a fluid organization.
This isn't about having humans on one side and AI on the other. It's about designing workflows where humans and agents operate as a single, cohesive team, with each playing to their own unique strengths.
And the human agency scale is a fantastic way to visualize this. It shows that there's a whole spectrum of collaboration. At one end, H1, you've got the AI agent handling a task completely on its own. But as you move up that scale towards H5, human involvement becomes absolutely essential. The key takeaway here is that the goal isn't full automation for everything. It's about finding that perfect sweet spot, that perfect balance for each specific task. So, how do we make sure that we not only survive, but actually thrive in this new partnership? Well, Pascal Bornet again suggests that we need to lean into our humics, those skills that are and will pretty much always be uniquely human. And there are 3 core humanics. First is genuine creativity. And I don't mean just mashing up existing ideas like a language model does. I mean generating truly original concepts that come from our lived experiences. Second is critical thinking, that ability to question assumptions, to see the nuance, and to navigate those tricky ethical gray areas. And third is social authenticity, building real, deep, trust-based relationships. An AI can simulate empathy for sure, but it can't replicate a genuine human connection. These are our superpowers.
Okay, you're sold on the potential. You see where this is going. So what's the first practical step for you or your organization to actually get started with Agentic AI?
Well, experts recommend a pretty simple 3-step blueprint. First, define a clear vision. Please start with a real business problem you need to solve, not just a fascination with the cool new tech. Second, invest in your people. Create a dedicated team, a center of excellence, and give them the time and the space they need to learn and to experiment. And finally, start small but think big. Launch a focused, manageable pilot project to prove the value and build the momentum you're going to need to scale this thing up later. So let's end on a personal question. Just forget the big corporate applications for a minute. If you right now had a personal AI agent ready to go, what is the very first task you would give it? Would you have it finally tame your inbox, plan all your meals for the week? Or maybe you'd have it research that big side project you've been putting off for months. The possibilities are truly endless, and they are a lot closer than you might think.